Hey everybody, it's Aaron. It's been a couple months or so. There hasn't been a whole lot going on, well, personal stuff, but not, that I'd want to go into. The one thing that I really wanted to talk about was traveling abroad when you are not in the gender binary, because I know some of the procedures that might need to happen if you are transgender mainly because I was curious about that. And there's been a lot of debate, personal debate for myself, whether I should um, partially transition into something a little bit more masculine because I can see myself, or I can tolerate masculine pronouns better than I can female pronouns. So I thought if I were to travel abroad and people were to call me by masculine pronouns or they were to think I was a man, I would hope to do that. But people still see me as female or call me female pronouns, even if I'm dressed up to the nines in the masculine, way. So um, that's I guess a whole other video. But the reason this is kind of a big thing is because I wanted to try to study, sorry, not study, work abroad, teaching English abroad, and one of the best places to go is South Korea. And the reason it's a little bit hard to go to a lot of these countries is because of the fact that they aren't as progressive yet of LGBTQ, and unfortunately, their only example is they have one transgender pop star, but and they kind of learned to accept her. But I haven't really seen much else as far as even being gay or lesbian on in Korean TV. I mean, they'll hint at it, but they won't um, say much other than that, or even that's an okay thing to be. So. Um, the only let's see. Um, so yeah, South Korea is probably the best place to go because there's a high demand. They pay well, and the housing is free. You can live a lot of the places like it's called Epic, EPIC, and they do a lot of the recruiting I think towards um, for South Korea by itself. But I've also found a couple of websites for teaching abroad, which covered a lot of other countries, and it looks like a lot of European countries are probably more a safer bet for me. Um, I have kind of an idea, and a lot of them they pay like anywhere from like 1,000 to 1,200 or something in U.S. currency, which that's more than what I make now. So whatever. It's probably more than what I would make working, full time at McDonald's too. So who knows? But anyway, I'm not sure what the cost of living is in some of these European countries. My another pick, I had a couple other picks, which was Chile. They have the machismo culture, but I think they're okay with their LGBTQ community, so I'd be okay there as well as in the Czech Republic. I thought about that as well. Mostly it's kind of I haven't done as the refined or like advanced search for the cost of living and what it would cost for certain expenses and stuff in each country, like I did for South Korea because I really wanted to do South Korea. I even went as far as to wonder how I could either somehow between now and the next 2 years partially transition to a point where my name changes, or at least the spelling does, or at least to the point where it says M on my. I don't want to do all that. I'm not a man. I really am not a man. I don't feel like I should be a man. When I was younger, I felt maybe I should have been a boy, but that was only because I didn't know there were other genders than female and male. So I'm happy being neutral. I'm happy not identifying as masculine or feminine or male or female, even though I'm masculine. My personality is very feminine. So um, just don't call me she. I'm like ah. So anyway, so that was one idea I had, and then another I'm kind of going to try, and I'm not really proud of it, but um, I mean I don't know. I'm not proud of the fact that I have to do this, or I would have to do this for like at least a year, um, teaching abroad in somewhere like so, or um, somewhere that's, if I could pull it off. I don't know. But what I want to do is I want to let my hair grow out, which is why it's kind of poofy right now. And then I want to straighten it, relax it, use the relaxer on it, and then see if I can find some kind of haircut or style that's fairly decent, not doesn't take like a shit ton of time to do, um, or even have a cut that would still make me somewhat androgynous, so I can still, look the part of female if I have to, but not feel female to the point where I hate myself. And that was a big problem. Thinking about it, like if I wanted to go to Korea, I'd have to be a woman again, and it wouldn't be so bad if I could be an androgynous woman. And I'm not sure if, because androgyny is a kind of a big thing in some areas. I've seen like a lot of hairstyles and looks for some of the Asian cultures that have a really androgynous style. So I mean, I know I'm supposed to be a teacher and stuff like that, but I probably would prefer to do something like that if I could pull it off. And so that's what I'm trying out to see if I could pull off an androgynous look. And I think at one point I used to, but that was before these bad boys came in. So yeah, I want to pull off an androgynous look, but I want to be able to, shave my face and still be able to pass as female if somebody were to ask and I say, yeah, I'm a chick, and then be like, okay, yeah, I can see that, and then they can move on. So if I were to do that, and I could still attempt to teach and so. Otherwise, I would probably stay as I am, or for the most part as I am, and probably, um, I mean, all my papers are still going to say female, but and maybe try to get a job in Chile, or I probably would be safer somewhere, probably a little bit more. I hate to say it, probably more like Czech Republic or a European kind of place. Most something like along the lines of Czech Republic. I don't know if I would be able to get a job in places like that because they seem to be harder to come by. So because it's needed in places like Chile and in Korea, there are a lot more high demand for English speakers in those countries. Um, I think it'd be a little bit easier to get a job in one of those places. So I haven't done an extensive search on all the available countries and stuff like that. I did do some, like places like Indonesia and Thailand and things like that because they were similar. But like Chile, they have kind of a low cost of living. I mean, as a teacher, you'd still make well enough, but for the cost of living in your area, but it wouldn't bring much. You wouldn't be able to send much home for um, towards either saving up for something or to get an apartment or a house back home and things like that. And so South Korea is probably the best one for that because they the pay is good and the housing's free, so you can send money back to the U.S. and pay off your student loans. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to do that because my student loans right now, the last time I saw was about 25,000, and I'm about a year and a half away. So sorry about that. So my goal would be to, in the first year and a half, 2 years of, if I were able to do it 2 years, I'd be able to knock off more than half of my student loans. So anyway, and that would be knocking off the student loans before going into grad school, and then I have to worry about paying just the grad school loans. So that would so there's that. Anyway, so I don't know anybody who is not in the gender binary, not in transition, not female to male or male to female who's gone abroad and either lived there or was there for more than a couple weeks. So if you are, I know somebody who does, and you actually watch this or whatever to the end of my 10-minute babbling, please let me know. If I can remember, I'll try to link back to some of the. Oh, something went wrong.